Good morning. It's great to see such a lively group here this early in the morning. We appreciate all of you being here. My name is Brenda Payne. I'm the President and CEO of the Hendersonville Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm filling in right this moment for Joe Menninger, who is the chair of the Government Relations Committee for our chamber. And he had a little battery problem this morning, so he's still on his way, but he will get here in short order, I'm sure, and so we'll be able to hear from him when he arrives. We really appreciate all of you being here. We want to thank as well all of the candidates who have come to be a part of this forum this morning. And I'm going to introduce them to save some time, and they will have an opportunity later to make some closing statements. So I'm going to start right away with the instructions for the forum so that we can make sure that we have all the time we need to answer questions. The first thing I want to do is introduce all of the candidates starting from my left. And first we have Pat Campbell, who is the candidate from Ward 1. And we have Barry Hardwick. If you'll hold your applause, we'll do that at the end. Thank you. And then we have, I see that. So we have Barry Hardwick from Ward 2, Arlene Cunningham, who is an incumbent and is a candidate for Ward 3, Steve Brown, who is a candidate for Ward 4, Kurt Riley, who is a candidate for Ward 4, Ham Frost, who is an incumbent and the candidate from Ward 5, Matt Lawson, who is a candidate from Ward 5. We have Matt Stamper, who is the incumbent and candidate from Ward 6, and Sam Parks III, who is a candidate from Ward 6 as well. So now you may give them a round of applause. I also wanted to note that we did receive a response from Angie Hedberg, who is a candidate from Ward 3. She's unable to attend today because of a family vacation that had been scheduled months ago, and so she has submitted a closing statement for the audience, which will be read at the end. We did not receive a reply from Rosa Long. Of course, Rosa is unopposed, and so we did not anticipate her coming. I want to let the audience know that this is going to be a taped event. The full video is going to be playing on the Hendersonville Chamber YouTube on our website, so that link is there. And it's also going to be broadcast on the Community Channel 3 in 2 separate hour-long segments. They are going to occur Monday evenings from 8 to 9 and Saturday from 6 to 7. Now, those of you who are here live may not want to see it again, but we hope that there's an opportunity for lots of people in our community to see it. So if you want to make a note of that, Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. So it's now my pleasure to provide instructions to all of the candidates as we move along. First, I wanted to tell you that these questions are going to be chosen at random. Questions were developed by our Government Relations Committee along with those in attendance. So if you came in and wanted to submit a question and didn't do that, there are some index cards back on the registration table. If you want to get them and write them down, please do so and hand them to me, and I'll put them in the bowl. I will, or Joe will, reserve the right to eliminate duplicate questions or those not relevant to the business issues focus of this forum. Up to 3 candidates will be asked to respond to a question before another is drawn. So what that means is we're not going to ask a question and ask each of you to answer that. You'll have different questions along. So what we are going to do, of course, is maintain rotation of this. We're going to make sure that every candidate is asked the same number of questions, so you get an opportunity to do that. Answers should be no longer than 1 minute, and Amanda Foster is going to be our timekeeper here in a moment when we get started. She's going to alert you at 15 seconds and will probably count down from about 5 on down to 0. So I'm not quite sure what she's going to do to make you stop, but I'm sure she will do something to make sure that you understand that. If you're in mid-sentence or the end of your sentence, please feel free to complete that, but we would ask that you honor that minute time limit. At the end, you are going to be given a 3-minute closing statement opportunity, and that'll be an opportunity too for you to respond to any question that you wanted to that you didn't get asked, as well as to talk about other things that you would like to do. So, are we all ready? Gentlemen and ladies, we can start your engines now as we move along. Now, I'm going to begin on the left side of, thank you very much. So we have a few more. These will be chosen at random, because I can't see and I can barely move, so I think we're going to be. All right, so the first question that I have is going to be asked of Pat and Barry and Arlene. So, and if you need for me to ask the question again as we move through, please say so. What are your feelings for a recycling plan for our city and the city parks? So, Mr. Campbell.
Well, having been involved with the Parks Department through the Fast Pitch Softball League for years, recycling will be a fantastic project to put into the ballpark down there for plastic bottles and things that are thousands of bottles or so that are here down there in the park. And we could work with the park in developing a recycling program, not only for plastic bottles, but aluminum cans and other products that can be recycled. I think it would be a great asset to our ballpark down there. They'll keep it clean and keep it presentable to the people of Hendersonville and the visitors we have. As far as the city goes, it would be an interesting thing to look into as an alderman to research that to see if the people of Hendersonville would support that project. I know there's a group of people that would like to do that, and it should be something that we should look into to see if it's feasible for the city of Hendersonville to do that in the long term. But I would look forward to applying that to the ballparks in particular. That would be a real good place to start at, and I think it would happen. Thank you.
I think having it at the park is a great thing to do, and looking at it for citywide is obviously another great thing that we can do. I would not want it to cost us funds for the city, because I think there's other projects that are more pressing at the moment. When I lived in Bartlett, Tennessee, we had a recycling program there. It worked well. You put it out at your curb, and I think it is a good thing. There are private companies here in town that are doing it. We recycled some electronics the other day when we got rid of some TVs, and we took them down, and we actually had to pay to get them to take our TVs. So, but it was a good thing, and I was happy to do that, and I think it's something that as a city we can certainly look at.
Ms. Cunningham.
Thank you, Brenda. As the liaison for beautiful Hendersonville for the last 4 years, we have initiated several years ago have recycling bins at the parks in the city of Hendersonville. And Green Village Recycling is the vendor that we use right here in Hendersonville to maintain those bins and to do regular pickups. Green Village also has recently opened their recycling center to have drop-offs, the first time that we've been able to do that in the city. So that you can go down there, they're off Center Point Road, and you could actually drop off your recyclables. Also, I've been involved with several different events with beautiful Hendersonville, where we've had a cleanup day, recycling of electronics in the parks, and I got to stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will go to Mr. Brown, Mr. Riley, and Mr. Frost. What priority issues would you want to see the city address over the next 1 to 3 years? Mr. Brown.
Thanks, Brenda. Good question. Probably can't answer it in a minute, but off the top of my head, the two things that I think are very important right now is the parks issue. We have a safety issue in the park. We can't get out. Or families who have kids in the parks are having a hard time getting out of the back side of it. So, but we do have some other land that could efficiently be made into some parks. So I think there needs to be a plan there to have a better, efficient way of getting folks in and out of the parks. our city has grown over a period of time, and we do have some land that can be put into parks. So I think the board needs to look and work along with Dave and the Parks Department, and Parks Board, at looking how to resolve some of those issues. I think another important thing that I hear when I go around and talk to folks is traffic. Something that can be done very quickly, and after checking the signalization project is on the books to be done, has been on the books to be done for quite a long time, and what I understand is in the tubes, and by getting that and completing that, it will help traffic flow throughout the city. So those are two things that I think should be handled in the next 1 to 3 years. Thank you.
Mr. Riley?
I'll go ahead and echo what Mr. Brown said. Many people, many citizens at the door have said over and over, what can we do about Drake Street Park? Something has to be done about that. I think that's something that we can do in the short term, whether it's add another road if that's the right option, or if we move and purchase land somewhere else to relieve the congestion over there. Everybody's complained about the traffic. So we need to find solutions to our traffic issues. If we're going to keep growing, we need to make sure that infrastructure comes along with it. I think there's some very simple things that we could do from an infrastructure standpoint to relieve congestion. If you look out at the Exxon that they just put out on New Shackle Island Road, when they put that in, they didn't put in a turn lane. So now when traffic starts to get busy and they want to turn left into that Exxon, all that traffic's going to be backing up because all the traffic's coming forward. So I think we need to, if there's an easy win to put in a turn lane there or widen that. So I think there's little things that we can do to accomplish that. So,
Thank you. Mr. Frost?
Thank you. Traffic and the park issue are very high on the priority list for me. The parks, what really initiated the issue was we had a perfect storm come together. We did have a storm. It took out communication systems at the police department. Everybody at the park tried to get at the same time. That brought it to the forefront, something to address. Also, traffic in the city, as you know, as you grow, that's one of the byproducts of growth is traffic. And getting a handle on that is very important. But I want to step out a little bit further. As a sponsor, a year and a half ago, the $1.25 million bond issue, because we had issues with houses flooding from 2010, and people are still recovering on that. I feel like that's something that we have to look at every year. And if we're elected, I'm going to continue looking at the drainage issues and the flooding issues. I just don't think it's right that we, the city, allow people's homes and belongings to be lost. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will go to Mr. Lawson, Mr. Stamper, and Mr. Parks. And that question is, what types of political or community leadership positions have you had that makes you the best choice? Mr. Lawson.
Thank you, Brenda. So I have been involved with this chamber for a number of years. I've served on the board the past 2 years, served on the Government Relations Committee for this chamber, served on the Economic Development for this chamber, as well as just served on long-range planning for the chamber. Also involved with starting a group called the Young Professionals of Hendersonville. That is a group that came out of this chamber, and it basically tried to create an environment where young professionals get more involved in their community through education, through them knowing what's going on in their city and how they can get involved. I've also been involved with education initiatives with Compass, bringing the business community and the school system together. I serve currently as vice president of that and will be president next year. Thank you.
Mr. Stamper.
Yes, I'm currently the incumbent candidate for Ward 6, so one of my qualifications is the 4 years that I've served as alderman on the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. In addition to that, I've served as campaign treasurer for Jeff Coker for State Senate in a losing effort to Farrell Hale a couple years ago. I'm currently the treasurer of the Sumner County Republican Party. Served 2 years as treasurer of the Sumner United for Responsible Government. I've been on the board of Living Sin Ministries, which is a great nonprofit here in town. Lots of community involvement. treasurer stuff is related to me being a CPA. They always tend to throw the CPA on in the treasurerships, but I enjoy serving. I enjoy being a part of the chamber. The business that I work for is a member of the chamber, and so I'm very active in the community.
Mr. Fox.
Thank you, Brendan. The company I work for is also a member of the chamber. I served on the committee for the Taste of Hendersonville. I think we did a great job, and it was a really fun event. I also worked for Dollar General for 5 years, and at my time at Dollar General, I was a member of the Young Professional Council there. We did several events with them. Every year we served Habitat for Humanity. I also did a lot with Breakfast with Santa's, the thing that we did. We would go to a school and give out gifts, and we put on plays for the children at Handy-Cotton Elementary. And so that, I think my time served in the community through Dollar General and through Hendersonville makes me a good candidate.
Thank you very much. Our next question is going to go to Mr. Campbell, Mr. Hardwick, and Ms. Cunningham. And the question is specifically related to growth and development. What does your vision of Hendersonville look like in 5 to 10 years? Is the city currently headed in that direction? If not, what should change? Mr. Campbell.
5 to 10 years. Well, I've lived here 47 years. I've seen Hendersonville grow from a community of approximately 12,000 people where you had two choices to go grocery shopping at, to a community now that's right at 60,000, and we have about 6 or 7 locations to go grocery shopping at. What do I see in 5 to 10 years? I see that continued growth. We have over $1 billion worth of construction on the books, I believe it is, for the city's website, talking about new growth coming to Hendersonville. Along with that new growth come people and children, and we need to continue to expand our parks, continue to work with our schools to make them the best possible places they can be for our young people, and then continue to work on our infrastructure, such as our streets, our sidewalks. That's the biggest thing I hear as I go through Ward 2. People would love to see a sidewalk all the way around the Walton Ferry Peninsula. I'm sure they would like to see it all the way around the Indian Lake Cherokee Peninsula as well. So, thank you.
Mr. Hardwick.
My vision for the next 3 to 5 years and looking at 10 years out is we have to decide as a community, do we want to be a veteran community for Nashville and continue to put cars on Vietnam veterans and 65 South, or do we want to be a self-sustaining city and have good quality, high-paying jobs here in the city? And my vision is that we're going to go out and we're going to recruit more high-quality office space here that is like Park Plaza, that's like the building across the street with Bluegrass Commons, that we have 3- and 4-story office buildings to where people don't have to go to Cool Springs or they don't have to go to Maryland Farms. And I think we do need to do a better job of recruiting those developers, recruiting those companies. You know, great for Mount Juliet. They got a big win the other day. Gallatin got a big win with Beretta. We need to go out and get some big wins in Hendersonville and bring some of those high quality office jobs into this city. And that's my vision, is to go out and recruit those type companies.
Thank you. Ms. Cunningham.
Thank you. Growth and development over the next 5 to 10 years. I see both challenges and opportunities with that in the city of Hendersonville. Challenges with growth, what I would like to see is as a board, for us to develop a 5 and 10 year strategic growth plan and lay it out, have a goal in mind, and plan for both economic growth, growth with our infrastructure, growth with our services such as police and fire, and then have it as a living, breathing document where we can make changes as appropriate and as a board work towards those goals. Thank you.
Mr. Brown.
Repeat the question, please.
Oh, well, you actually have a different question. That was a test.
I'm sitting here writing and I thought, oh my God, I missed the question.
I'm so sorry. That was my fault. I was engrossed in the answers. So the next question is going to go to Mr. Brown, Mr. Riley, and Mr. Frost. And that question is, what criteria would you use in evaluating the need for a tax increase or a tax decrease? Mr. Brown.
Okay. I think what I would look at is the statistics that we have now. I've served on the board 2 terms before. I've been off the board for 2 years. Our tax rate is still 65 cents. We have an issue going on in the county right now with our assessments, and I think that's in the process of being solved. I see Anthony's here, and I know some of you probably talked to him about that this morning already. But in looking and evaluating for tax increase, I would look at health and safety above anything else, fire and police, where I would never consider a tax increase that would be needed. What I can tell you is that over the past 5 years, and I actually have those figures because I thought that might be a question. That sales tax in 2009 was $7.8 million, and in 2013 it is $9.3 million. That's $1.5 million increase. So our taxes are in line because our sales taxes are good, which has given us property tax increases on these businesses. I don't see that where we need a tax increase, but that's how I would evaluate it. I would look at our health and safety issues first.
Mr. Riley?
Well, I think anytime you talk about raising taxes, that you have to start with your constituents in your ward. What do they want from you? And I've spoken to many individuals who've expressed to me that the last thing on their mind is a tax increase. However, at the same time, you have to look at the city from a spending perspective and absolutely evaluate that everything we're doing at the city is on the up and up. Is every dollar accounted for? Is there any waste? And once you've determined that you've squeezed every last drop of waste out of the city, then you can begin talking about a tax increase. But I don't believe we're at that point.
Mr. Frost?
Thank you. Someone said years ago that taxes are a necessary evil. And before I would even consider one, I would make sure that the expenditures that the city has, that we are as careful as we can be in spending the money. The fact that we don't need to go beyond what our means are. But we make sure that we do everything possible to keep the services going for the city before you even think about raising taxes. Currently, I think our sales tax, businesses that are coming in, we can support what we need to do as far as services rendered to the citizens. So I don't think a tax increase is necessary. But before any consideration for that, I would make sure that we're doing everything we can to spend the money properly, efficiently, before I would even talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Frost. The next question is going to go to the last 3, and then we're going to reverse the order and come back across. The library is a great asset to our city, not only for our residents, but as a recruitment tool for business. What other amenities do you think we need to develop to maintain our competitive edge in growth? Mr. Lawson.
Thank you, Brenda. As a community grows, there are several amenities that we have talked about on the Young Professionals and as a chamber. One being the boardwalk that is slated for construction right there near Mallard's. I think that would be a great opportunity to bring in some retail and commercial development. I think also looking at the arts, possibly bringing in a performing arts theater or something like that, so that we can stop sending people downtown for that. And I think just an overall increase in our park system. Having more amenities, more greenways, I think that's going to be something that I keep hearing about, and I hope that we can move forward with that. Thank you.
Well, in this past budget, that I supported, we allocated funds for a study on the Performing Arts Center, something that is near and dear to the mayor's heart, and the board agrees that would be a tremendous thing to have in Hendersonville. In addition to the boardwalk, there are other things. We need to utilize the lake. We talk about making our city an attractive place for people to come. The lake is one of our biggest assets and amenities. It's already sitting out there. So utilizing that would be important. Personally, one of my pet things would be to see an amphitheater go up by the lake with some good music. We have a lot of music talent in this town. That's just something on the side. I hear from folks anywhere from paddle boats to, I think last night I even heard somebody mention indoor tennis and something akin to the sportsplex. So these are all things that we need to look at to make this Hendersonville a great place to live, to work, and to play.
Thank you. Mr. Parks?
So we talked about being competitive, and just like some of these guys said, the lake is one of the things that makes Hendersonville a very attractive place. Some of the work that they're doing over there about building the boardwalk area, building more sidewalks right down by the lake is gonna bring people out. I think the parks that are important to me and my family, they're going to probably have to grow with all the new houses coming in, especially Alderman Forums down on this side of town. We're gonna need more parks. We already have traffic problems in the park that we have. So to alleviate that, I think we're gonna have to have probably another park, at least soccer fields over there, and maybe more than that.
Thank you. Thank you. The next question is going to go to Mr. Parks, Mr. Stamper, and Mr. Lawson, coming back this way. So you're ready to answer questions, I'm sure. Public safety. Are our fire and police departments adequately staffed? And if not, what should we do as a city to assure proper staffing levels? Mr. Parks.
Well, from my point of view, they're properly staffed. They're doing a great job. They're getting out on time. I haven't heard, talking to the people, I haven't heard complaints about the public safety being an issue. You make the phone call. Outside of that issue we had where communications went down one time and people got stuck in the park, I haven't heard any other complaints about police or fire safety issues, at least not in Ward 6.
Thank you.
Politics being what they are, I ended up on the Public Safety Committee rather than Finance for the first 2 years of my term. So I was intimately involved in the safety aspect and listened intently to our great now retired Chief Steele, our wonderful Chief of Police, Victor Miller, evaluated their needs. They needed some significant upgrades in technology. I'm happy to say we provided that. We've fully funded their budgets. Currently, we're in the process of with the whole county, trying to get together on putting an emergency system in place for Gallatin that will save lives, will greatly increase response time, and will ensure that. So we've been working through that process right now. Public safety is near and dear to my heart, and I think Hendersonville is on the right track. Crime is down. Right now, it's just a wonderful, safe place. We want people to feel safe that they live in Hendersonville.
I think that right now, we're doing a good job on public safety. But as we continue to grow, and as a lot of people have talked about, we need to be making sure that we work with all aspects of public safety to make sure that we properly plan for the growth that is coming to Hendersonville. And so I would, if elected, I would be working with Chief Miller, well, not Chief Steele anymore, but working with those gentlemen to make sure that we can properly plan for our future so that we can have the public safety that we have now. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question will go to Mr. Frost, Mr. Riley, and Mr. Brown. And the question is, the City of Hendersonville completed a comprehensive land use plan several years ago. What criteria would you use to change any of the zoning that has already been established in that plan? Mr. Frost.
I think the zoning that we have is sufficient to serve the needs of what needs to take place as far as future growth. And I think everyone is well aware of the issue that's hit the city over the past few months, spot zoning. I'm not in favor of spot zoning in any situation. But I think the work that the planning department did, specifically Fred Rogers and Ms. Milligan, who's now with Metro, they did a very good job putting together the land use plan. I think as each issue comes forward through the planning commission, through the system, through the committee system, and finally the voting, I think you need to take each one on its own merits to see what is necessary to serve that proposal. But I think all in all, the system that we currently currently have is working. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rowland?
I think we need to take another look at the land use plan. I think we also need to concentrate on having areas that are specifically zoned more for office space. I'm concerned, many of the citizens I spoke to are concerned that we've concentrated too much on bringing in retail, and we need to save space so that office and manufacturing jobs can come here. And I want to make sure that we have that space, and that as we recruit those businesses, that they have a place to go. Also, in terms of spot zoning, I think everybody's aware, as Mr. Frost said, spot zoning in neighborhoods is just an assault on the neighborhood. I mean, we need to stop doing things like that and even considering things like that in neighborhoods.
Thanks. Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Brenda. We had a lot of good people put a lot of hours and a lot of time in developing that plan. So as your alderman, I don't see any reason to deviate from that plan. I would tell you that not too many years ago, the board was offered the opportunity to annex on the other side of 386 and rezone that so we could move some businesses into the city. I fought that very hard and would fight that again. As far as offices, we do have on Saundersville Road, we still have a lot of acreage up there that is zoned properly now for office buildings. I think we do have a couple things that are on the board that are coming to town. But I do think, I agree with Mr. Riley, we do need to recruit some more office type buildings. Those folks help spend money in the businesses that are already along Indian Lake Boulevard in that mall. And the last but not least, never voted for spot zoning. I will not vote for spot zoning again for anything.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Our next question is going to go to Ms. Cunningham, Mr. Hardwick, and Mr. Campbell. And the question is, should the city consider expanding its role in maintenance and paving of city roads? Ms. Cunningham.
Thank you, Brenda. Maintenance and paving is a priority right now with the city. Some of our streets are in need of paving, and I think that should be a priority in our next budget session, which starts at the end of our fiscal year, which would be July the 1st. We do have about $1.5 million right now that's allocated for paving, and a lot of that money comes from the state, which is considered State Street Aid funds. And the city puts in about $300,000 to $500,000 in their budget. If possible, just like with the drainage issue, I think the paving has come to a point where it should be a priority, and if possible, we may have to have a bond issue to be able to accomplish that priority. Thank you.
Mr. Hardwick.
As I walk through the ward and talk to people, that's one of the things they're constantly bringing up, and the city has made it a priority to a degree because we see new paving that's coming along. But it is something that we're going to have to put definite resources to, whether it's through a bond issue or whether it's through just allocating more of our existing money to that. That is something that is a priority, and we have to keep pushing it.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes, just like the others have said, we do need to address the street conditions we have here about paving, and also maintaining the sidewalks. Like I said, growing up here in Hendersonville, I used to ride my bike down Saunders Ferry Road. The guardrail down there by the high-rise retirement place, it's a dangerous spot. It's only got a lot more dangerous right there. Mr. Nesbitt, a friend of mine, he lives out there off of the peninsula. He's in a little scooter now. He's had a stroke, and he has a hard time getting to the store. And he told me the other day, he said, I can't wait for that sidewalk to get in here so I can go to the grocery store without having to bother someone. He'd like to take his little scooter, ride down to the store, and go back home by himself. But that's going to come through us widening our roads, accommodating turning lanes on Walker, Saunders Ferry, Indian Lake, and Cherokee. And those would be a great asset to Ward 2. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to reverse this order again and start with Mr. Campbell, Mr. Hardwick, and Ms. Cunningham. And so the question is, what real-world experience do you have that makes you qualified to be an alderman And please, if you are an alderman, and that's only one of you in this particular group, if you would like to tell us what you've accomplished during your most recent term, that makes you deserving of another term. So, Mr. Campbell.
Well, most of you know that I'm a part of a family business here in Nashville. We've been in business for over 40 years. It's a service business, so for office equipment and banking equipment primarily. We've also branched off into military equipment for Fort Campbell and other military installations here, working on disintegrators, things of this nature. When I say working on, we do service industry type work. Our family business has always been about serving the community, service to others, and I look to bring that type of experience to this job because, as everyone has said here today, as I walk through my neighborhood and I talk to my neighbors and I find out what's on their mind, be it streets, drainage, or sidewalks, that's what pressing upon there. Those are the issues that affect them every day. You drive to Nashville every day, just trying to get out of the ballpark every day, just doing what you can to live a better life here in Hendersonville. And I thank you.
I am a commercial real estate agent by trade. I am a CPA by training. That's what my education is. And the real world experience that I have is working with development. And change is coming. There's said 1 million new people are moving into Middle Tennessee, and part of those people are coming to Hendersonville, and there will be new development. So I believe that my experience with development, being able to recruit new businesses, working with large businesses, small businesses, I think all of that, as well as my training with the CPA, the leadership that I have done in the community, working with the chamber and the board here, working in the board with my church, working with the leadership group and our scout troop. I think that leadership capability, the ability to help build consensus, the ability to set priorities and to go after those and to make sure they're accomplished, those are the leadership traits that I would bring to the board.
Thank you. Ms. Cleveland.
Thank you. My experience prior to becoming an alderman is I was with FedEx Corporate. I was a corporate account manager with FedEx for many years. In addition to that, I currently am a priority banker with Regions Bank here in Hendersonville, and I substitute taught for several years while I was in between retirement. As an alderman, which I love, by the way, and I miss. As an alderman, I have sat on the Public Safety Committee. I have been co-chair of that for 4 years. I have been able to provide our police and fire the necessary resources that they require to do their jobs properly. Crime has been reduced substantially in the city, which we're very proud of. I have supported our infrastructure improvements, including paving, drainage, and very proud to be able to have installed streetlights in the first subdivision, which is in Mansker, not Mansker Forest, which is in Ward 3. And I have to wrap it up. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next question is going to go to Mr. Brown, Mr. Riley, and Mr. Frost. I got this in the right order this time. Do you think Hendersonville is doing enough to support its residents with transit options? Mr. Brown.
Doing enough. Two or three things. We have to go back and talk about traffic. We're going to talk about transit options. We have a couple bus stops in the city that, talking on the National back, that folks can pick up in the morning, I believe at 6 a.m. to like 8 a.m. Pay a small fee and ride to Nashville, go to work, get back on that bus and ride back. I think that's a great advantage to having our city, or having our folks travel back and forth. I personally would like to see, and I've talked about this before, within our city, we're 54,000 people now. We have some main thoroughfares, and we do have a lot of traffic. I don't know exactly what it would cost, but I would like to see our city and planners investigate possibly putting a in-town bus line in, run from one end of this town to run into the other town. Because we do have a lot of senior folks that walk, need rides, etc. So I think that would be something that we can look at, that we can do in-house in our own city to help us move about quite a bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Riley.
Well, as always, I'd like to start out in Ward 4 at the door. Many people have expressed to me continually that mass transit is not something that they want to see come to Hendersonville. Many have said that, the car, the American citizen just comes back to the car. When you put in these transit systems, they sound like a good idea. People use them in the beginning, and then they decide, you know what, they're not as convenient. I need to be here, I need to be there, and they always move back toward the car. And we have a history of seeing in this country of mass transit options becoming just taxpayer pits for money, and often don't serve the purpose, and they're often not efficient. So I think right now we have enough options.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Johnson?
I think Mr. Brown had a good point considering about an in-town transit system, whatever that would be. But I want to step out one bit further. I-65 has been widened as far as it can be. It's done. The majority of people that live in Hendersonville work in Nashville. And that's why we have so many cars leaving out of here in the morning, and it's a nightmare coming home. It's a shame some 20 some odd years ago that we didn't develop, or the county and the state and the city all put together to develop some sort of light rail system or something that could move people around in a hurry. I think one thing that we have to remember, we've become such a very mobile society that the car is what people are going to drive because of their mobility. Cost factor in trying to put mass transit together is primary. It's going to be expensive, and we won't pay for it.
Thank you very much. The next question will go to Mr. Lawson, Mr. Stamper, and Mr. Parks. And that question is, are there services that our city does not currently provide that we should consider, Mr. Lawson?
Thank you, Brenda. Services that we provide, I really think that, kind of tagging on to the previous question, I think that investigating how we move our citizens around is going to be paramount with growth. With a million more people coming to Nashville, Middle Tennessee, how many of those will be coming to Hendersonville? And how many of those people that currently live in Hendersonville, because the commute times to Nashville will be more than they are now, how many of them will leave Hendersonville to move in closer to their jobs? So I think that those services are something that need to be investigated from the Board of Mayor and Alderman. Thank you.
Mr. Stamper?
Thank you. This kind of alludes to the question earlier about amenities. That's one issue, and I've answered that about some things that we can look at for entertainment that can be city provided. But I'm a limited government type of person, so I'm not out there looking for new ways for the government to get involved in people's lives. I think that we need to keep Hendersonville safe, provide police fire protection, the infrastructure, the things that we're currently doing now we need to do well, and focus on quality of life issues. So I wouldn't be a proponent of looking to spend more money on services that aren't needed.
Mr. Parks?
I think the services that we provide now, we do a really great job of. Like we talked about earlier, I'm not hearing people say that they don't feel safe. Police and fire are doing a great job. Garbage gets picked up on time. They do a great job with that. There's no complaints there. When we talked about, the last question was about transportation in the city. I think I have friends that use transportation into Nashville, and they say it's a really great thing. It gets people, it gets more cars off the road. It helps alleviate the frustration going down there, but it's still there. I've worked in Goodlettsville for the last 6 years, and even getting to Goodlettsville is kind of a bear on being around veterans. So if we're going to provide more services, I think it would probably want to be around transportation, getting more cars off the road, getting people into and back from work faster.
Thank you. We have two more questions. We had a number of duplicate questions that were submitted by the audience, as well as those that our Government Relations Committee had submitted. And so we are going to split this one just a little different way, because I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to answer the same number of questions. So we're going to start again from the right side with Mr. Parks, but all 5 of these gentlemen will answer this first question, and then I'll ask a separate question for the other 4. So we'll go from that direction. Thank you. So the question for this side of the table: what avenues of communication from the city to residents and business do you think would be helpful as new projects and/or issues arise for public comment between the city and residents and business. So, Mr. Parks.
Okay, well, obviously, first line of communication for the residents should be their alderman. They're having problems, they should be able to pick up the phone, call their alderman, and know that they're going to be heard and that they're going to get help. I believe that we could, when we talk about business, for small business, we could expand the Office of Economic Development, maybe add a position where small businesses currently could call up and get help on questions that they may have if they're wanting to grow. That's something that I do believe we should look into. So people that want to start a business or have a small business that's looking to grow should have somebody to call to help them get to the next level.
Thank you.
Can you ask the question again, please?
I'd be happy to. What avenues of communication from the city to residents and business do you think would be helpful as new projects and/or issues arise for public comment?
Thank you. We properly notice all meetings and things like that, but a lot of folks aren't paying attention. I know with Durham Farms, got a lot of calls after the fact, said, well, they're putting 1,000 homes in here, and it went through the process several months. So another avenue that we can explore, and the mayor and several members of this board, and anybody knows me, and Facebook, social media. Mayor does a great job of tweeting out openings, what's coming, businesses. So with the technology that it is today, there's no reason for us not to be able to communicate, especially the big things that are happening in Hendersonville. As he always says, great things happening in Hendersonville. So you can even hashtag it for the Twitter folks. I'm more of a Facebook guy, but I'm open to communication with my folks through the web, through the phone lines. People call me all the time and ask what's in the works, especially over what's going on at New Shackle by the hospital. I get that question all the time. So, but I'm always available and communicative.
I think that, one of the things that we could possibly look at outside of what's already been said is looking at people signing up for an email newsletter. If the city sent out an email newsletter to the people that wanted to find out more, I know that takes a little bit of effort, but I think that would be good for people to be able to find out what's going on in their current city. Thank you.
I think one thing we need to remember also is when communication takes place, it's going to be the first contact will probably be the alderman from the citizen trying to find out what's going on. The alderman needs to be informed and be sure and he or she can give the answers that the citizen needs. One thing that we've experienced over the years that I have seen is, unfortunately, there's been a lot of apathy about not only elections, but people not staying involved. Prior to TVs coming into City Hall, I can remember you couldn't get into City Hall to talk to people coming to see what was going on. Channel 3 helps that to a point right now, but I think as long as the alderman stays in touch with the people that call, and when people have a problem, they need to call their alderman or call City Hall and find out what the problem is that they're looking for regulation. Thank you.
Mr. Rowley.
Well, I would start by, I'm an IT security architect by trade, so what I would do is focus on email, I would focus on social media, I would focus even on texting. Allow citizens to sign up for whatever range of service they want, whether it's email, whether it's a text, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, and let's use the city and let's over-communicate via those communication channels to the citizens. Many of them, today if they want to find out something, they have to look in the back of the newspaper. And hopefully they got the newspaper and they looked at it. But everywhere you go, you see people on their phones scrolling their little Facebook, right? They're Twittering. Well, they're going to get that information delivered to them immediately versus waiting for and hoping to find it in the back of the newspaper. I think the newspaper still has a place, but I think we need to expand and use social media in a much better way.
Thank you. And the next question will go to the left side of the podium here, and we'll start with Mr. Brown and move down. Economic development is important to both the chamber and the city. We each have a role to gain the success we all want. What does economic development mean to you, and what do you view to be the city's role in economic development and the chamber's role in economic development? Mr. Brown.
Thank you. I think economic development is probably one of the most important things there is. I talked about taxes a few minutes ago and told you that in the past 5 years, our sales tax basis went up $1.5 million. Good economic growth will allow that sales tax base to continue to go up. And we have an economic development department, and we need to supply that department with the needs that they have to continue to develop and bring businesses to this community. As far as the chamber goes, I've been on this chamber board before. I served as the vice president of community events, and I served as vice president of membership. And so I understand the importance of the chamber working along with the ECD office and working along with Fort Sumner in order to develop more businesses coming to our community. More businesses, the right businesses, will keep our tax dollars in the general fund per se, and we won't have to have a tax increase because of that. So I think it's very important we all work collectively together to bring businesses here.
Thank you. Ms. Cunningham.
Thank you. Economic development, what it means to the city, what it means to the community. I believe that the city's role to entice businesses to Hendersonville is to provide a business-friendly environment. In other words, provide the services needed to entice businesses to come to Hendersonville, to provide the infrastructure needed to entice businesses to come to Hendersonville, and therefore make it a very business-friendly community. What does that mean? I am a fiscal conservative, so that means the less government interference with the business is easier for the people to come here and do business and to start a business, provide a business, and if they do need some assistance from the government is there to help, not knock on your door. I'm from the government, I'm here to help. Thank you.
Economic development is one of my passions and one of my hot spots, because I think it's one of the top 2 or 3 items that as a city we have to do. We've done a good job, we've got a great story, we've got a great city, we've got new development, we've got good parks, good public safety, and so now we've got to turn a lot of focus on bringing new businesses. And the retail has come, we've got a lot of retail opportunities now. We need to go after the high-tech manufacturing, we need to go after the corporate relocations, the regional relocations. We need to be calling upon the developers that bring that kind of business to the city. And how does the chamber and how does the city work together with that? We need to have closer relations between those two. The chamber is well positioned to help go after that business, and I think those 2 departments need to work with each other hand in hand, recruiting new businesses to the city.
Mr. Campbell.
I would agree that economic development is critical to Hendersonville, keep our tax base where we'd like to see it at and see it increasing. I think we need to be careful though as we bring commercial buildings here to Hendersonville that we don't overflood our infrastructure. We're talking about roads, sidewalks, and things of this nature. Yes, we have good services now, but if we overdo it, we can cause a problem where you can't even get out of the ballpark in an hour and a half instead of 45 minutes that I heard some people talking about. But I believe that we do need to work with the chamber and Don Long's office there at the city of Hendersonville to help bring business to Hendersonville, keep it in the area of the that's laid out in our long-term plans here in the city of Hendersonville, and always be in mind of transportation issues that are affecting the people of Ward 2. I'd love to see us help stimulate the Walton Ferry area right there too, the older buildings in that area, not forget them. Thank you.
Thank you. We've come to the end of the questioning, and so now we're getting ready for closing statements, and so I want to give each of you instructions for that. We want each candidate to have 3 minutes for their closing statement. Please consider including a response to the question, why do you want to be an alderman, along with any other information you may want to share. This is an opportunity for you to respond to any question that you didn't have a chance to answer earlier, but certainly the opportunity for you to tell us your plans, visions, and why you want to be an alderman. When we get to the point at Ward 3, I'm going to read Ms. Hedberg's statement as well, so that she has an opportunity to be recognized here today. And so I'm going to start at the opposite end from where we began and ask Mr. Parks to give his closing 3-minute statement.
Thank you, Brenda. Again, my name's Sam Parks. I was born and raised here in Hendersonville. I actually grew up in Ward 6 on Westington Place, and I chose to buy a house on the same block that I grew up on. I live on Keystone now. And I did that because I love the city of Hendersonville. I graduated from Beach High School. I chose to raise my kids here in Hendersonville because it's I feel safe here. My daughter Sarah is 14. She goes to Station Camp High School. My son Samuel is 9. He goes to George Whitten, which used to be Westington Place Elementary, which is where I also went. My daughter Sarah also went. We love the parks here in town. We also like all the opportunities that we have to play here, to go walk. We can walk from my house now to go see a movie and get dinner, and we do that frequently when the weather is right. And I love that we can now do that on a sidewalk and get to that Indian Lake area and be able to do those things. I'm running for alderman because, like I said, I love the city of Hendersonville. It's where I chose to raise my family. I want my kids to have opportunities that I didn't have. We've been talking today about bringing jobs to town, and that's going to do a lot for the community. But it's not going to be easy, but it's going to do a lot for the community. First of all, it's going to cut down on traffic, leaving here, going into town, and traffic's a big problem. I mean, everybody's mentioned it. If you go door to door, or anybody in here today is going to tell you, traffic is a problem. Bringing jobs into Hendersonville will cut down on that traffic. People coming from Gallatin to come work here, or people coming here now to go work at Gallatin is going to be very helpful. Also, like I said, the parks are very important to us. What I want to do is just help the parks, make sure that they are funded. I think you may have seen a story yesterday. Dave Lamar has got some plans. He wants to fix the problems that they have. It's probably going to take some effort and some money, and I want to make sure that we can get that done. Outside of that, the reason I want to be alderman is because I love my city, I love my ward, I love my community. I want to help the people. I want to be available to them. I want to make sure, like I said earlier, I want to make sure that when they have a problem, that they can call me, and that they know they'll be heard, and that they know I will work very hard to make sure that they get help. Thank you.
Mr. Stanford.
I want to say two things here in my closing remarks. First thing about voting for me, what you see is what you get. I have a record I'm proud of for 4 years. I don't continue to do things any differently except for to evaluate each issue and make the best decision I can for my ward and for the city. So I would appreciate another term as alderman. But I want to talk a little bit about quality of life versus growth. We talk a lot about companies that are potentially out there coming in. It all works together. We don't want to get the cart before the horse. A lot of times folks are resistant to rezonings, to even accompany the businesses that might come, and the concerns stem from quality of life issues that they're dealing with. They want those drainage issues fixed. They want to see traffic problems alleviated before you throw more traffic problems on them. So it works together. When you've got happy people, you've got more of a community feel, and folks are not as resistant to bringing in new businesses. With that said, as a former tax manager for a large convention hotel business, I've been on the other side of the table from a corporate standpoint, wanting to come into a city and looking at a city. So I know what corporations are looking for. They're looking for options in entertainment. They're looking for housing choices. They're looking for a place like Hendersonville. We're positioning ourselves. I mean, look at Beretta, what they did in Gallatin. What has Gallatin done over these last several years? They've really developed. They've put some money into infrastructure. They've done the things that they need to do to attract businesses to their city. We're doing those things. I believe that some of those wins that we're talking about are coming our way because we're moving Hendersonville in a good direction. We have some things to work on. Drainage was such an issue 4 years ago. I'm glad it hasn't been talked about as much because we put over $2 million in bonds, like Ham mentioned, that he spearheaded on one of those bonds to alleviate these problems. And we've got a project starting this month in Ward 6. So I'm proud of the work we've done to make this a great place to live, to get around. Yes, the realignment project between Saunders Ferry and Old Shackle is going to help the synchronization project. So we just need to keep moving Hendersonville forward. I know what city codes are looking for now. I'm on this side of the table. I know not to give away the farm when a business wants to come to town. So, but I do know what they're looking for, and Hendersonville's providing those things, and we just need to do more of that. And keeping taxes low is one way that we can continue to keep folks happy. So there's a lot of things that I bring to the table with economic development. The chamber is a wonderful partner. I love what Brenda, what you're doing here, and thank you all for being here today. It was a pleasure to speak with you, and I would, if you live in Ward 6, appreciate your consideration on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. I am Matt Lawson. I'm running for Ward 5 Alderman, and part of the reason that I am running is because I want to see planned growth and proper planning for the growth that's coming. Recently, I was able to serve on a council for transportation. It was hosted at Lipscomb University, and was selected by several people here in Sumner County to attend that. And one of the things that came out of that was that Vietnam veterans, there's a traffic problem on it. Guess what? 2035 is when it is in the Metro Nashville Planning Organization's transit plan. 2035. I'll almost be done working on that. So for me personally, that's an hour to 2 hours every day, depends on when I leave. So if I leave at 6:30, it's about an hour, 30 minutes in, 30 minutes back. If I leave at 7, I don't get to work till 8:15. So, and I'm not the only one that uses that road. So we've got to bring in more jobs to this area to increase our residents being able to stay here and work here, which will increase our economy here. There's been a lot of talk about economic development, and that is something that is a passion of mine. But unfortunately, we talk a lot about it, but investment-wise, from an operating budget, we're not there. One of the neighboring cities here that we've talked about that's landed a few big deals lately spends between $400,000 and $500,000 a year in operating budget for economic development. The city of Hendersonville, as it stands right now, spends $6,000 a year. So we've done a great job of growing with the limited funds that we do have. If elected, I would hope to serve the business community and be able to put more of a focus on economic development so that we can really work to grow our jobs, make sure that we properly plan for those, and really increase our quality of life, because we can take people off of their commute for an hour or two a day. Thank you, and if you live in Ward 5, I'd love to have your vote on November 4th. Thanks.
Thank you. First, I want to thank you, Brenda, and your staff, and the Chamber as a whole for hosting this forum today. I've enjoyed being an alderman. It's been a pleasure to serve the people of Ward 5. I'll let my record stand as it is. It's been a real adventure for me, and I feel like we've come a long way since I first came on the board. A lot of the things we talked about today, the boardwalk, and I served on the Town Center Redevelopment Committee, which part of the land use plan has all of that in a plan to accept proper growth and have it as a family-friendly foot traffic type area. Sat on the chair of the library site selection committee. The mayor asked me to do that, and was just pleased to bring in a beautiful library, an absolutely gorgeous library. Negotiated property for Station 6, negotiated for the bond and brought in Engine 6 up here at Winston Hills. But one thing that I'm really is close and dear to me, and one reason I'd like to be re-elected, the bond issue that I asked for, $1.25 million, and the board was unanimous. Too many people lost an awful lot of things they worked for over the years in 2010, and that's just got to stop. And Right now, we're currently negotiating with CSX to punch through new railroad tracks to put a new drainage system. But we're not finished. We've got work to do. I want to be a part of that team that completes that work. Too many issues with drainage need to be addressed, weren't addressed for years, and now it's come to the forefront. Paving is another situation. Too many bad roads. We're growing. I feel like our growth with the new land use plan will help control that growth to a point where we can bring in the proper businesses. I want type A office buildings in town, but I'm not ashamed that we have the Hobby Lobbies. They came here, and they wanted to be here. And I think that's good, where people can shop in Hendersonville instead of going to Rivergate. I remember when there were 2 restaurants in town, Applebee's and Shoney's. Now we've got a choice. And I had one person that was in the restaurant business ask us to quit approving restaurants. So we've got it now. We've got all of this through planned, solid thinking, great. And I asked for the residents of Ward 5 for your vote for re-election. There's still work to be done, and I'd like to be a part of that. Thank you.
Mr. Riley?
Thank you. I want to thank the Chamber, the people of Hendersonville, my fellow candidates. It takes a lot to serve. It takes a lot of toll on our family. Surely my family, my wife has put up with a lot of stuff. She refers to it as politicking. They're always out politicking. And, you know, I'm a person that believes in service. I serve in my church. I serve on my HOA board. For those that know me, know that, you know, I love helping people. Sometimes I don't even know why, but I just do. And I think the citizens of Ward 4 deserve an alderman who's going to be accountable, honest, and who's going to listen to them. Many times I knock on these doors and I hear, they're not listening. They're just like Washington. And they'll ask me, are you a politician? I said, well, I've never ran before. Oh, okay, good, I like you. And I think there's a reason for that. And that reason is that our citizens have lost the trust of our leaders. And I think it's time for a change. I think it's time for a leader that's going to make the citizens vote voice first. Sometimes it's not always the most popular thing. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that we serve our constituents. And that it's our job to make sure that we're executing their will. And I'll never lose sight of that fact. And I'm asking for your vote for Ward 4. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Brenda. I want to thank you and the Chamber for putting on this forum this morning where you can get to know your candidates better. And like Mr. Riley, I thank everybody up here for willingness to serve or the service they have. And why am I running for alderman? Mr. Qualls, and I would like to thank Fred, who's sitting there, for his 12 years of service to our county and his 12 years of service to this city. That's 24 years of giving your time. And that's all the time I'm going to give Fred, but thanks so much for your service. I think I'm your qualified candidate in Ward 4. I've served in this particular position as alderman 8 years. I've been off the board 2 years. During that period of time, I was the vice chair of finance. I was the vice chair of the general committee. I served on the parks board. My peers nominated me and voted me to be their vice mayor for a 2-year period. I've been the director of the Hendersonville Samaritan Association. We're going on 17 years now. I think most of you know me, know that I'm committed to what I do. So charter member of the Lions Club here, been the president the last 2 years. The small club raised $18,000 to give to our city that never came out of our budget to build a dog park. And so I was very strongly committed to that. I've been a charter board member of the Salvas Center. That's a great organization in our community. I am the county representative for Mid-Cumberland Human Resources Agency. Represent us there. I've already told you that I've served in this chamber board and as vice president. I don't know if that was coerced or served, but I enjoyed doing it. Some of you have worked for the chamber. It's hard work when you commit to the board. So I think that I can show you that I'm very qualified, I'm committed, and I'm very willing to be a servant. the 8 years that I was Alderman in Ward 4, I don't believe there was ever a day or a phone call that I did not return, or an email. It may have been 24 hours, but that's one thing I promised those folks in my ward, that I would commit to them. I'll commit to them to do that again. But I think as an alderman, you serve the city. You serve your ward, but you serve the city. So I've always been and always will be an alderman for the city. Issue came up in Ward 5 not too long ago on rezoning. I wasn't your alderman, but I was there standing by you and looking what was going on and telling you how I would vote on those things. So I would ask for your vote on November the 4th if you're in Ward 4 and you're watching this on Channel 3. If you have any questions, I'm easy to get a hold of. We'd be glad to discuss any issues that you want to. But I think I'm very qualified. I think most of you know that I'm committed to what I do. I'm very willing to be your alderman again. I would ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. I would like to thank the Chamber and the Government Relations Committee for hosting this forum today. And most of all, I'd like to thank the people that got up so early to be here today and thought that it was important enough for you to be here today. As an alderman for the last 4 years, representing Ward 3, it has been an honor. Just a little bit about myself. I've been in Hendersonville for 18 years. I'm married for 26 years. We have 4 children, 7 grandchildren, and prior to becoming an alderman, I was a corporate account manager with FedEx. I did a little substitute teaching at Madison Creek Elementary School, and currently I'm a priority banker and loan officer with Regions Bank right here in Hendersonville. I believe that our better days are even ahead of us here in Hendersonville. As an alderman, I have always put the needs and the welfare of the people first. I assured that our neighborhoods remain safe by supporting our police and fire, and provided the resources that they needed, especially with the technology, which gave them the flexibility to be able to, instead of being busy with paperwork, they were out in the streets protecting the citizens. Also provided the police a flex team several years ago that was instituted, and this year our police department will be getting 6 new officers. So they're just keeping up with the services to be able to provide the citizens and, like I said, a business-friendly community. As a result, crime has gone down substantially over the last few years. Thank you, Chief Miller. Thank you, our previous Chief Steele, for that. I've asked the hard questions about spending and how we can do better as a city. I have supported the infrastructure improvements, including our paving, especially our drainage and street lights. I'm very proud to have street lights installed in the first subdivision in Ward 3 recently, about a year ago. I've challenged how we can protect our quality of life with controlled growth, and therefore I have opposed more apartments in our city simply because I think they put too much of a burden on our already burdened infrastructure, our traffic congestion, and even though we're not directly responsible for our schools, it would put a burden on our our school system, and our school system is part of our quality of life, part of why businesses want to locate to Hendersonville and to Sumner County. I strongly advocated for transparency in government, and I believe these initiatives have made Hendersonville a business-friendly community. With the recovery underway, I believe we are positioned to entice professional businesses to our fair city with less government regulations, an attractive workforce, and good quality of life here in Hendersonville. I would appreciate your vote for my second term as your alderman. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve the city and the citizens of Ward 3. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to read Angie Hedberg's statement, who is a candidate for Ward 3. Good morning, and thank you to everyone for taking the time to attend this forum. My name is Angie Hedberg, and I am running for Ward 3 Alderman. My apologies for not being here in person. However, my family and I had planned our Disney cruise almost 2 years ago, long before I knew I may run for alderman. Also, my kids said I could not cancel. So, who is Angie Hedberg? I am a mom of 2, Colin, who attends Madison Creek Elementary, and Sammy, who attends T.W. Hunter Middle School. My husband Bob and I have been married for 20 years. He works full-time as a field service engineer for Kodak and is a retired veteran. I also work full-time as a property manager. I am running for alderman simply because we love it here in Hendersonville and plan to be here a long time. I am very passionate about helping people in my community and have years of successful experience in doing so. I am not here for politics. I'm here to be a voice for those in my ward, all of them. I'm very approachable, likable, and friendly. I do what I say I'm going to do. I will call you back, follow through, and follow up. I will invite you to tea if you'd like, and you will like my tea. My experience includes over 25 years in general and district upper management with fast-paced airport retail companies grossing over $12 million in sales. The past 10 years I have been licensed and active in condominium management, HOA, and real estate property management. I have spent time on HOA boards as president and treasurer, and I have always been involved in my kids' school, be it on the PTO as treasurer or in the classrooms. Simply put, I strive to be successful in helping and standing up for others, and what right I have a proven track record of never giving up. If I lose a battle, it's not due to my giving up, and I assure you of that. I have always said every issue can be dealt with. Most importantly, it's the manner in which it's dealt with, and that is what makes me different from my opponent. Thank you. Mr. Hardwick.
Thank you, and like everyone else, I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming today, getting up early and caring. It's often said that, you know, this election matters, but the truth is all elections matter. And we have a great community here. We have a great city. We have great public services. We have a great quality of life. And that's the reason when I moved back 12 years ago that we chose Hendersonville versus going to one of the other communities. I grew up in Madison, and I want to see the great things about Hendersonville continue. Hendersonville is going to continue to grow. And if we make smart decisions, if we have good leadership, and we do it the right way, we're going to continue that quality of life. If we do it the wrong way, or if we ignore issues, then we're going to have to deal with those consequences too. So the questions I'm always asked is, why are you running? Who are you, and why should I vote for you? So the reason I'm running is I want to bring a fresh voice to the board. I'm running to continue to improve and protect the quality of life that we have here, and I want to see the city grow. I want to see it grow with a lot of Class A office space. And when you say growth, sometimes people kind of shy away from that, but I think the growth actually solves a lot of our problems. It helps keep our taxes low. It helps keep cars here in Hendersonville versus on Vietnam veterans and headed south. It also provides customers to the small businesses. We have a lot of rooftops here, but the restaurants, they need people at lunchtime. They need these business people shopping here in Hendersonville. And so I think good quality economic development will help solve a lot of our issues and will propel us for a good quality of life going forward. I will work to keep your taxes low. I will work to provide good, open, and honest, transparent government. I will be a bulldog in setting priorities and making sure they are done, and let's getting the problems that we have solved. And so those are the reasons that I'm running. Those are the things that I would like to see accomplished. And on November 4th, I would sure appreciate your vote if you live in Ward 2. Thank you.
Mr. Campbell.
I'm Pat Campbell. I'm a candidate for Ward 2. A little bit about me. I grew up in Ward 1. My wife Laura, we married, and we've lived in Ward 2 now for 24 years. We have raised our children here. Danielle, who's 22, lives in Chicago, finishing up her nursing degree. Her husband's a Navy corpsman. And my son Jordan, he's a senior at Hendersonville High School, and he's looking to go on to college and become a nurse as well. And I'm really proud of my family and my children. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running for office, is because I love Hendersonville. This is where we decided to put down our roots at. This is my community. My mom and dad still live at the same house they did when I was a kid. They've lived there right at 50 years now. And my sisters live in the community as well. So when you say this is your hometown, this is my hometown. I grew up here. I hear people talking about certain restaurants. Well, I remember Burger Boy was right there at the Domino's location. A lot of people don't realize that, but that's the Burger Boy location. It's original there. You only had two places to shop, which was H.G. Hills or Bill Crook's Food Town. And as it's continued to grow, it's a wonderful thing, and I'm all for the growth, the continued growth of Hendersonville, because it is coming. There's no way to stop that. We're right at 60,000 people here in this town now, and we do have to have controlled growth, and that's why we need to develop the Indian Lake corridor over there that's designed for the commercial growth, as well as not forget the main street of Hendersonville, the branching roads of Saunders Ferry, Walton Ferry, and all down through there, all the way to the county line. Because those businesses have been there for a long time. And sometimes they feel like they get neglected because, well, we're not down there in the newer part. Well, true. So I urge everyone to go down there and check out some of those businesses. Those people really love to see. I've been going down there and meeting those fine folks, and I think you'd find a benefit from that as well. Again, about myself, I'm from a family business. We've served Middle Tennessee for over 40 years. Farrah Business Machine's been in business for since the 1950s, actually. We continue to be a service business, and that's what I want to bring to the Board of Mayor and Alderman is my service ability, being able to talk to people, find out which problem is, and address that issue, and get down to the Mr. Nesbitt's, the Mr. Norris, who would like to see an indoor tennis facility. And I don't know if we can do that right off the bat, but these are some of the things I've heard about from people in our community. A lot of people are still addressing drainage and sidewalks and streets. And as our town grows, we need to address the streets, the turning lanes, and the ease of getting in and out of our peninsulas, the Cherokee Indian Lake Peninsula, as well as the Walton Ferry, Saunders Ferry Peninsula. Because it can take you 15 to 20 minutes sometimes just to get out of the neighborhood. But I'm Pat Campbell. I'm running for Alderman in Ward 2. I look forward for your support, and you can look me up at votepatcampbell.com. I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Chamber, its Board of Directors, and the Government Relations Committee, I want to thank all of you as candidates for the Board of Mayor and Alderman for being here this morning, for your time today, for your service to this community, both on the board and in other outside capacities, because your service, your public service, is what makes our city the great place it is to live, and we really appreciate your involvement with all of those things. I also want to thank those of you who attended today. This is an early morning meeting, and we know that it's difficult sometimes for you to get up and be a part of this. We'd like to thank those of you who are elected officials. I did not spend any time asking you to recognize yourself, but we do have several elected officials here in the audience, both on our Board of Mayor and Alderman. Our county executive is here. Representative William Lambert is here as well. I want to take time to also thank our chamber staff for being here, getting up and being here at 6:30 in the morning to make sure that an event like this happens and runs smoothly is something that they do every day and are very professional in that, and we appreciate all that they do. And also Don Clausen for getting up and being a part of our secondary staff. And he is videotaping this for us, and we appreciate all of his help. We have an additional short presentation to make for you today. Lindsay Ralston and Representative Lambert are going to come and make a short presentation about another item that's going to be on the November 4th ballot, and I hope you will stay around for just a few minutes to listen to this. It's about Amendment 2 that's going to be on the ballot, and so we would like to present them and welcome them to the podium.
3 minutes, hang out for us.
All right.
And last time, if Fred Thompson over here's video doesn't start.
Oh, sure.
All right, as Brenda just stated, and we want to thank you, by the way, for letting us have a couple minutes of your time this morning. We are here to talk about Yes on 2. Amendment 2 is going to be one of 4 that's on the ballot. It's very important because if you don't vote yes, if you just don't vote on it, then you're voting no. So it's very important that you don't pass through these and that you read through them. Amendment 2, it allows the governor to appoint the high judges and the Supreme Court justices just as the current system is. except for it adds new accountability to that, in that the legislature has to confirm or reject his appointment. Also, it protects the rights of Tennesseans to vote, to either retain or replace those judges or justices at the end of their term. It is not a lifetime appointment. There will be terms, and the citizens of Tennessee will get to vote on if they want to keep or replace those justices.
Any questions? Unless the video works.
It's a brand new.
There's a neat video on the
Yeah,
laptop.
it's
If
a
anybody wants to see it
really
afterwards, you can come up and see it. But
I'll have it right here.
Any questions from anybody? I know we're tight on time, but no, we'll be around afterwards in case anybody has any questions.
And we also have copies of the actual amendment. If anybody wants to read it, you can take it home with you. And then we have cards if you want more information as well. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, again, thank you all for being here today. We are adjourned.